My ex cheated on me, and her affair partner ran away after she got pregnant. Now she is begging for another chance, saying it was her mom's fault and her son needs a father. Her friends and mom are calling me a coward for not seeing her again. I'm done. My cheating ex called me 2.5 years later. My 31M ex-girlfriend, 29F, found me and wanted to hang out, but I just ignored her after she broke my heart. Backstory: in 2015, I met this woman at college, let's call her Casey. We had so many things in common, and we instantly got close. She asked me out, and it was a wonderful relationship, or so I thought. We had dreams together, sent X-rated pics once in a while, and did a lot of stuff together, but didn't have intercourse yet. In 2019, around Christmas time, I was going to propose to her after giving her parents and siblings gifts. I even gave her mom, who hated me, a gift. Casey works at the hospital, so I thought she would get out of work later. At 5 p.m. she didn't come to her parents' place, but I went ahead and gave everyone gifts. When I gave her younger sister, 20F, let's call her Sherry, a laptop, she cried and hugged me because she had always wanted one for school. I gave Casey's father a new barbecue grill. Moments later, Sherry told me something she couldn't contain anymore and cried harder. I asked her what was the matter. She immediately grabbed me and brought me to her room, and her father came along as well. Sherry kept saying sorry over and over. I was confused as to why. She then showed me a pregnancy test and told me that it belonged to Casey. I completely lost it and wanted to know why and how long the affair had been going on. Sherry informed me that the affair started at the beginning of 2019. While I was working a lot at my factory job, Casey was going to see him. To make matters worse, Casey's mom was the one who introduced her to the affair partner, AP. Apparently, in November, Casey found out she was pregnant and begged Sherry not to tell anyone after Sherry found the test. When she told me everything, my world came crashing down, and I decided to leave. But before I left, I thanked Sherry and her father, let's call him Max. Max apologized and said that if I left, he would completely understand. We shook hands, and I said thank you. I just looked at Casey's mom, then left my ex's house, drove away, and didn't look back. Max and Sherry were furious with Casey's mom, let's call her Jane. At 7 p.m. on Christmas, I informed my family about what happened, and they all comforted me. At 11 p.m. my phone began blowing up with calls and texts from my ex, saying she could explain. I didn't answer. I changed my number, deleted my social media, and changed my email. As much as I wanted closure, I didn't want to see her face. Fast forward to mid-2020, one of my friends informed me that the AP who got Casey pregnant ran away after he found out he was the father, Karma, and they were looking for him. I simply said, who cares? Fast forward to last month, I saw a number I didn't recognize, so I answered, and it was my ex. She begged me to meet her and possibly give her another chance at my favorite restaurant. I responded, why should I after what you did? She rambled on, and I just ignored her because I didn't want to go through the same pain she had put me through. Casey began gaslighting me, and her friends and her mom called me a coward for not seeing her again. I told Jane, you have the audacity to say that after what you've done. She rambled on, so I just hung up and blocked both Jane and my ex's numbers. I informed her friends about what happened, and they left me alone. Relevant comment. Why would you ever want to deal with MIL that lies and an ex-girlfriend that will never be trustworthy? Let your ex suffer the consequences of her actions. Ghost her and anyone associated with her. OP, yeah, I just left and didn't look back. I moved forward. She went from being part of a lovely couple to being a single mom. Also, my sisters, I've got 4, wanted to beat her up, but I told them she wasn't worth it. Comment, it's weird how half her family is good, sister and dad, and the other half, ex-GF and mom, are awful. OP, her dad hated me at first, but that's how fathers usually are. But he saw who I was, and the fact that we both liked sporting events and jet skiing. As for the mom, I have no idea what's on her mind. Update. It's been nearly 3 months since I posted my story, and apparently, she found me. Of all days, on Mother's Day, which was last Sunday, my mom wanted to go to Red Lobster since she loves seafood. One of my sisters, really half-sister, but she's still my sister, came along as well. Let's call her Raven. We were about to leave when, all of a sudden, I ran into my ex's sister Sherry and the Wicked Witch of the West, Jane, at Red Lobster. Sherry was in total shock at seeing me, and I was hoping Casey wasn't with them. Thankfully, she wasn't. Jane looked at me with disgust, and Raven looked in disbelief. Jane seemed shocked to see Raven for some reason, but I wasn't sure why. Wait until later. I was about to explode until I looked at my mom and Raven, who both wanted to pound Jane into the ground for what she did to me. So, I had to calm them both down. Sherry then begged me to talk to her. After a heated argument involving my mom, Jane, and my sister, Raven suggested that if I wanted to talk to Sherry, we should do so alone, without Jane. We talked for a bit. She asked me how I had been and said she missed me and wished I hadn't left. She told me that my ex was miserable when I left, and I responded that it wasn't my problem. I then asked her how school was going. Sherry cried and said that Casey broke the laptop I gave her for Christmas a week after I left and ghosted her. I asked her, before I go, why does your mom hate me? I'm curious. Sherry said it was because Jane had seen me with another woman, which was the same woman they had just seen. Little did Jane know it was my sister. I told Sherry that Casey's actions were a waste, but the warranty on the laptop was still available until November 2022. Sherry literally danced for joy and said, I'll immediately get the laptop after dinner. We said goodbye, hugged, and left. The next day, I waited at BrandSmart. Work was slow. I saw Sherry, and to my surprise, Max came along. No lie, I had a smile on my face. We talked. Max loved the grill I gave him and still apologized, but I told him there's nothing he could do. After the laptop situation was resolved, we chatted for nearly an hour. They insisted on talking for a while, not sure why. I told them it was good seeing them. But Max insisted on taking me to a restaurant I had never been to, and he paid for everything as a thank you for giving Sherry another laptop, a better one. Sherry responded, I'm sorry about this, I hope you forgive me. Please don't be upset. Lo and behold, my ex came, and she looked in worse shape than I imagined. She looked worse than a surgery gone wrong. She tried to hug me, but I just stuck my hand out and asked, what the hell do you want? Casey apologized and begged me to take her back, saying it was a mistake, blah blah, cheater's excuse. I responded, you cheated on me for nearly a year when I worked my ass off for us, and this is how you repay me? She realized her mistake and said it was Jane's fault, and I said, you went along with it. You could have said, I'm not happy with you anymore, but you didn't. It's not my problem anymore. I moved on, and you did too for nearly a year. And the fact you gaslight me and tried to put the baby on me when we never even had intercourse, the hell? And now, the AP left you, and he's on child support. Casey told me that her son, now 1 year old, needs a father. I told her, good luck with that. She asked, why am I being so mean? I said, you're the reason for this. I wanted kids, I nearly got a house for us, family stuff, and you threw all that away. Casey said that I threw it away because Jane told her she saw me with another woman, and she described what she looked like. I laughed and called Sherry to let her know who they had seen. Sherry explained everything to my ex. Casey cried really hard, realizing that all this time I was faithful, and she wished she had never listened to Jane and said, I hate her for this. Casey begged for another chance, saying, we will fix everything, and I will do anything, just take me back. I simply told Casey, Max, and Sherry, wish y'all the best, and walked out. I told my family why I was out a bit long, and they were immediately proud of me for not taking her back. My dad laughed and said, Jane wanted you gone, son, and found a reason, a stupid one at that. You'll do better with the next woman. So yeah, thank you guys for everything. I didn't think I would run into her again. Even though I got closure, it wasn't worth seeing the two women who broke me. Relevant comment. If her mom told her you were cheating with no proof, and she believed her, then why did she keep dating you for a year before you found out? Why not just break up? OP, I have asked myself that question many times. Probably because I was her ATM, and she didn't want to lose it. Now I'm good.